Starting with widen the audience. So really what I'd like to talk about is press releases and interviews. And I've just, you can probably see a few pictures there. It's really important. Um, it's often the thing that I forget because I write a press release. I do all these things and I think, oh, I haven't got a picture, or I forget to send a picture. So it's useful to build up a bank as in your campaign of pictures. There's one of me as mayor with outside the front of the school. Often, if you dress smartly in your picture, or if you're doing a TV interview, you will come across. You'll be more respected for what you do. So do think about your appearance. Even like somebody that's naturally scruffy like me, it's worth making the effort because it does make an impact. Personally, I very much. I'm a stutterer. I often say and ah. So it's worth practicing, and it's worth just keep on doing it because many of us, we're community campaigners, we're not natural performers. So get in pairs, and I'll come to this as we go. Key messages of our campaign: default 20, 153 parishes supporting it, 2 area committees. And the other third thing is we've got a mayoral hustings coming up. So we've been focusing on Vision Zero targets and dates. So Vision Zero target of 0 deaths by 2030. That's the kind of thing we're pushing. We're trying to keep it simple and focused in our messages. Writing a press release. So you've got, you want to email your press release, have a short, catchy title. You want to email your local TV, radio, local, regional newspapers. The key questions you need to answer: what? Okay, what is this about? Where? So, are you meeting somewhere? When? Remember to put the date and time. Who is asking for what? So, the moment our latest press release, we were asking for 20 miles an hour on main roads at an transport committee. So you want to put 1 or 2 quotes from yourself and another supporter. Put the date of the photo call. So if you're doing you want a photo where the press can turn up, they can do interviews, they can talk to you. And obviously you're wanting to send that to your supporters as well and get your supporters lined up. A number to ring. That's key. We often revert to emails, and we have emails bouncing about. Media person to be able to ring you and to talk to you. You want to ring them as well, if you can get a phone number, because often you can get things moving a lot quicker then, rather than long email chains. Email, you need to put your email anyway. Any Facebook or Twitter, that kind of thing. YouTube channel, logo. 20sPlenty logos. Anna's got plenty. I'm sure she can send you if you need any. And then just put at the end any further information. You may have footnotes. Then that's the in a way that's the simple bit. Writing the press release, you can control that. Getting into interview. So you need to follow through, because just sending an email, you might not get a response. So you might get a response from the print press, but not necessarily from your radio or your TV. So ring up. And I'm doing a lot of ringing up my local radio in North Yorkshire. I've developed that contact. You can text them, local radio, but calling is best. Cultivate that contact. I had a very valuable contact in Radio York, and he's the one that actually got me eventually to feed into the national BBC team. Cultivate contact, because you never know where it's going to lead. Be polite and be patient, because the media staff, they're busy. They'll have lots of other stories. Your story might not get in, but if you keep on emailing them, you've got a new story. Keep on ringing them, and you will get things, because they do notice. You build up your profile. One of the things in our campaign, one of our key things is the number of parishes that were supporting us. We started with 5, 10, 20. So I sent slightly different messages to different newspapers, so that they could say which parishes were supporting, for instance, in the Selby area or in the Richmond area. And then those papers printed the parishes that were relevant to those. And North Yorkshire is a huge county, so there's lots of different newspapers. So if you can cultivate that support, that would be great. Collect a list of phone numbers for those people in your county that are willing and able to be interviewed, supporters, because the press do like to not just listen to one person. They don't always want to talk to me, or they don't always want to talk to Andy, who's here today, Stephen. There's other people. Bringing them in. Try and get women as well as men, or men as well as women. I don't know what your gender balance is. Older people, younger people, if you can, but get people who are willing and able to, and will pick up the phone. Check that those people are happy for you to share their number with the press, because that means the press can contact them directly. So if you're busy at work, you're away on holiday, somebody else can take up the baton, and it's very easy for it to get very linked to one person. I'm aware there's a lot of counties where you'll have one busy person and there's other people that aren't doing it. So if you can cultivate other people that are willing to take that on, even for a period of time, that will help you. So be prepared for the interview. Decide 1, 2, or 3 key things you want to convey. Tell your simple story. You'd be amazed how little you can get across. Particularly if you're not used to this. So keep it simple. Tell your story. Why do you want 20? What experience are you bringing this? From your point. Tell your story with passion. Now, I can get very passionate, and sometimes perhaps too passionate, but there's other people that that can be quite reserved. So what I would say, and I think I'll come to this a bit later, is practice with somebody else. Get somebody to ask the question, ask some questions, and practice answering them. Now, I'm coming to the sort of crux of this now, is in your interview, you can effectively ignore the question. Well, not ignore it, you acknowledge the question, but you don't answer it directly, because the question for you is a platform for your message. So as quickly as possible, you want to pivot from what the question is to what you're trying to say. Now, you might get a nice questioner who answers your open questions. You can say what you want. You might get a question that's trying to push a certain point. They might say something like blanket 20. What's this blanket 20? So you want to go straight to it. You start talking about default 20. You use your language. You use what you're trying to convey. Okay. So, as I say, hold on to your agenda and your integrity. Don't use the anti's keywords. Keep a short written list of the key points you want to get across, because it's very easy to get flustered, particularly with a question that you're not expecting. Also, it's useful to have again a short list of key facts that you want to convey. If you need more facts, go to Anna, or you need to check any of your facts. And I'm telling myself this now. Take a breath. It's easy to talk too quickly. Again, I'm not a natural presenter. I've had to learn this the hard way. I've had Anna. I mean, she's just gone through this presentation with me just before we came on air, basically eliminating about half the words. Keep it simple. Take a breath. Talk slowly. Recorded interviews will be edited, so if you fluff your lines, you can always then say, "Oh, can I do that again?" Yeah, or it might be you're outside and there's a noisy truck going past, which, yeah, in one sense you want that. You want to show the traffic problems, but you need to be heard. So you say, "Oh, can I do that again?" And they will edit it down. So you can actually you can actually speak for quite a long time, because they will actually then edit it down to what they need. So practice your interviews. On a previous campaign, not this campaign, we actually got in person, in pairs, and one person was the interviewer, one person was being interviewed. We recorded it on audio and video, listen to yourself back. I know it's sometimes painful to listen to yourself back. I never liked listening to my interviews, but it really is useful because you can learn, and then also listen to anything that's been broadcast. Again, force yourself to listen to it back to it, and learn from it, because next time it will be easier and you can learn. So my first couple of interviews, still sometimes now, I tend to say a lot, but I can learn from that. So again, closed and open questions. So you may be asked, it's not very popular in Wales. That seems to be the latest thing. So you immediately have something. Try and anticipate those kind of questions. It might say, oh yes, average speeds came down 3 miles per hour in the first week. I might try and slip that in. So try and any negative, turn it into a positive story. Okay, own the narrative. Okay, so talking slowly, keeping language simple, speaking with passion. Keep to a reasonable length, not too long, although you can say quite a bit. Talk of successes. Where has default worked? Where has it been popular? Talk of values, making places better places to be. Fairness to vulnerable people, children, the elderly. Wider benefits, the environment, public health, active travel, lower fuel costs, as well as road safety. It's useful to have that checklist. So particularly if you're coming to the end of the interview, you want to have something that, some good reasons that people want it. Okay. And remember your audience. What do you want from the audience? Because you might be asked, so what's the plan for your campaign? Where's your campaign going next? So be able to say that. Be able to say how you want people to engage. It might be you want them to approach their own local parish council for a motion of support. Maybe you want them to sign a petition, come to a meeting, ring up the local radio. They might have a phone in following on. You might want to get people writing letters to their local paper. So I just want to come back to how you connect with the audience. Okay, use your own relatable experience. What brought you into this campaign? Okay, but make it something that actually connects to the widest possible. Speak with passion. So remember your goals. Default 20 policy implementation. So what you're trying to achieve, you want to bring the public with you, but you want the highway authority to know what you're doing. So include them in all your email lists. Well, certainly the ones to the media, okay, and any events you're doing. You want them to know that you're telling the media this, and you want to then also alert them when something's come in the media. Say, look at this. This is in the media. Okay, try and get it into newspapers around the county. Keep mentioning how many parish councils are supporting you. Then make videos, make short videos, and we're going to come to that in a bit. Everything you're doing on media, you can actually amplify on Facebook, X, YouTube. Elections, try and focus on elections. Host hustings. We're about to host our second hustings to do with an election. Ours is the mayoral election. Tell your story. Build email lists and phone numbers. Emails are so useful. If you're doing any petition, make sure you get people's email address. Phone numbers. Stay in touch with your supporters, because they're the people that are going to help spread the message. Right. And I've learned this hard way, not this campaign, but in others, try and avoid burnout and look after your own mental health, because I think media, once you get into it, it can get addictive. You need to focus on the good news, because you'll be, it won't all be good news coming your way. 20 miles an hour, getting your 20 miles an hour is not a sprint, it's a marathon. It takes time. There are times when nothing seems to happen. Share the load, share the skills, build a team, and let other people do things too. Make allies, the county councillors, and they will run with this. We've had that in North Yorkshire. We've got quite a considerable number of county councillors now. Certain of them are doing a lot, so keep them informed. I'm sure there's a couple of them in North Yorkshire I could probably talk to a bit more, But and then yes, get those smiling pictures, and there's my contact details.